The Department of Justice released its latest and likely last major batch of files related to investigations into the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. This comes more than a month after the DOJ missed a deadline set by Congress and signed into law by President Trump. It includes more than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. The DOJ says there are redactions, including the personally identifiable information of victims, but the department has not provided a full explanation of what's excluded. The Deputy Attorney General...
All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So unless you've been living under a rock, you probably saw that more Epstein files have been released by the Trump administration. And I don't know if many of you kind of looked into them, but obviously a lot of stuff is redacted. A lot of names are, just completely blacked out. So basically the files, they gave people accusations and there's speculation of what they meant, like especially about Trump. There were a few accusations against him, and people can kind of take it either way. If people hate him already, they're gonna think he is in the files and he did do what they say he did. Or if you like him, you're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and he was kind of playing the power game, and he wasn't doing that. Sure, he might have went there or been on this plane, but so I don't know. My opinion is, anyone in these positions of power, in such a big position of power, you're going to have to play the game, right? You're going to have some sort of blackmail or something against you, or else it just wouldn't work, right? Because we know our government's occupied, unfortunately. But that's how the power players are, and they just kind of play the game. But let's check out this video.
That the White House did not have oversight over the review or redactions.
We complied with the statute, we complied with the act, and there is no, we did not protect President Trump, we didn't protect or not protect anybody. There's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Our team has been going through that document dump today, and NewsHour Justice correspondent Ali Rogan joins me now with what we know. So, Ali, what did we learn today?
Anna, this was a massive document dump. As you said, 3 million pages. As you can imagine, our team is still sifting through them. Before today, for comparison, the DOJ had released about 500,000 pages, so this is orders of magnitude bigger. And the person making this announcement today is also notable. Todd Blanche, now Deputy Attorney General. He was President Trump's former personal attorney. He was emphatic, though, that the White House had no involvement in any of the preparation of the documents. He also said that between this release and a forthcoming report to Congress, once that's out, the DOJ's obligations under this law that Congress passed, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, will come to an end.
So I know you're still going through the files, but what do we know about what is inside the files themselves so far?
I think most notably what people are looking for is mentions of President Trump, and there are thousands of them in these documents. Many of them, we should note, are news clippings, but there are some lists and summaries of unsubstantiated claims made against him from individuals alleging wrongdoing, including graphic depictions of alleged sexual abuse, including of underage girls. Some of those complaints date back to the 90s. Others from more recently, around when he was campaigning for president. What we don't know, though, is whether any of these claims have been substantially investigated. But the Department of Justice says that they were required by law to release everything, including those documents that were fake or falsely submitted. There's also a new diagram we saw today that shows basically an organization chart of Epstein's inner circle. Some employees were blacked out, but we see the connections between him and co-conspirators like Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as several attorneys and an accountant. There's also what appears to be a new picture of a desk or a table filled with photos of Epstein, Maxwell, and public figures including Trump, as well as one with Pope John Paul II. We've also seen in past releases some pages are entirely redacted and others are completely mundane things like schedule updates. Anna, I also want to note that we've reached out to the White House for comment and they have provided none.
We should also note, I understand there are other members of the administration mentioned in some of these documents. What do we know?
Yes, we already knew that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had a relationship with Epstein, which he claims had ended in the early aughts, but new documents indicate that they made plans to meet for lunch in 2012 on Epstein's private island in the Caribbean, while Lutnick was also vacationing in the Caribbean elsewhere with his family. And it does seem in those documents like they followed up and had that lunch.
We should underscore.
Yeah, guys. So, again, there are people in the files that will be exposed, but I actually had someone say this to me, and I think they said it best. If these files get released, it's going to be, America's going to collapse, basically. Like all these rich, powerful men, and then this gets released. What do you think the public's going to think about that? So it's like a sticky situation. Do we want America to succeed, or do we want it to collapse, since it's, I don't know, immoral, and there's obviously people from the files and the government and, you know, running things, running big businesses. Bill Gates was in the files. Apparently he got some STD from a Russian escort, and then he was putting drugs in his wife's drink to try to fix that around that time period in like 2013. So, I mean, these are the people who are literally running things. They have the biggest businesses in America. They're in the government. And, I mean, Bill Gates was pushing for the vaccines. So if he's doing that to his wife, you know, slipping things in there, what is he slipping in the vaccines? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is going to bring. But, I mean, the people have to know. We can't have a government that's so extremely corrupt and doing such heinous acts. It's absolutely repulsive and disgusting.
Here, just being mentioned in the documents is no indication of any kind of wrongdoing, but we should also double down on this idea. The deadline to release those documents was more than a month ago. Why has it taken so long?
It was indeed. It was on December 19th. The Department of Justice says they sent more than 500 lawyers to go through these documents and meticulously redact these things. In a letter today, Attorney General Pam Bondi said they'd identified more than 6 million pages that needed review, which resulted in the 3 million today. They say they redacted personally identifiable information of victims and sexually explicit material. She also said that approximately 200,000 pages have been withheld or redacted because of various privileges, including attorney-client privilege, and that within 15 days they're going to give Congress a more detailed look at government officials and quote, politically exposed persons in this document, although there's no definition of what politically exposed means.
Speaking of Congress, how is all this landing on Capitol Hill?
Well, we heard today from one of the authors of the Epstein Files Act, Congressman Ro Khanna. He says he has outstanding questions about why, by the DOJ's account, 2.5 million of these documents remain out of public view. He said he was looking for victim interview statements, many of which were included in today's tranche. He's also looking for additional documents from Epstein's computers. But of course, Amna, this massive tranche was just released today, so there could be more revelations in the hours and days to come.
Justice Correspondent Ali Rogan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein met in the late 1980s when the two became neighbors in Palm Beach, Florida. Okay. Yeah, obviously they met.
Support journalism you trust.
We know that Trump and Epstein met. That's obviously not up for debate. There's pictures of them. But the question is, did he go to that island and did he do those things? And from what we know now, from the files that have been released, they are unreliable sources. So they're clearly hiding something. And they're trying to protect people, like I said, or else America's literally going to collapse. So, I don't know. Is Trump in it? Maybe. I don't think we'll get to find out, to be honest, for 100%. I mean, yeah, there's allegations from people, but that's not concrete evidence. So again, this is just, I don't know. I don't know why they did this. Maybe it's just the people wanted it and the pressure was kind of big on them, so they kind of released it. I'm curious what's going to happen in these upcoming following days, weeks, and months. Are we going to go to war with Iran? Is that kind of going to be the next step? And then people are going to be talking about that instead of the files. I'm really curious to see. So, we're living through very interesting times, and a lot is happening, and this could go bad very quickly, or I don't know, by some miracle, maybe the country will be saved, and we'll get these disgusting people out of the government. We won't let them have so much influence over us, these disgusting businessmen. So we'll see. I'll keep covering this if there's more information that comes out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Really helps out the algorithm. And see you guys next time.